Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique E. Savage, and in this video today, guys, I'm going to be talking specifically about what to look for when you are shopping for your building, okay? Meaning you are really ready to start the ball. Like, you're ready to start building, shopping, looking at things, and you may say, what should I actually be looking for as I am building, shopping? If that is you, this is going to be the video today, because I'm going to be giving you 5 tips and things that you should look for in consideration when you are building, shopping. Let's get into it. Consider when you are building, shopping. The first one, I'm going to give y'all this disclaimer. Please don't kill me down in the comments, but the first thing I want to say is treat this shopping process just like any other. Okay, when you're shopping for a house, when you're shopping for a car, like, it gotta be the right fit. It gotta be the right feeling. And I'm all about, like, no, I know I feel that this is right. We're not gonna make a building right just because you're building happy, right? We're the same way you're not gonna make a house right. You're not gonna make a car right. Like, you know, there's some things that I kind of saw, like, I'm not just gonna go with it just because it sounds good, okay? So first thing is, get out of your head of being building, shopping happy, because trust me, it's going to happen. You're going to fall in love. Don't fall in love with the first thing that you see. See options. See what's really out there, okay? So that's going to be the first disclaimer that I throw out there before I start jumping into all the other tips, all right? So my first tip that I'm going to say is, rule number 1, guys, zoning. I cannot stress this enough. Before you finalize any property, whether you're going to lease it, whether you're going to own it, mortgage, any of those great good things, before you finalize any property and put any money down, okay, you really want to do your thorough research on what your local zoning regulations are going to be, because you want to ensure that when you choose this building that you're not going to run into these zoning and legal issues in the future. Trust me, it can happen. And I see so many people at zoning meetings. My mom and I have been at zoning meetings, right? So you want to make sure that the zoning is okay. And that's super important what those zoning regulations are, because you may be in a space and you may be in a community that they may not be zoning additional childcare programs in this year. That's a thing, okay? So you really want to make sure that you do your due diligence and looking at what your zoning regulations are, and if this building is up to code with that, or if it's within your budget to get the building up to code, okay? That's something that's really important. You may want to look at that, because you may see some businesses, and I say zoning, I go back, some places may say, hey, we don't want any other schools. A school can't open near a bar, and a bar may already be established. These are real things to take into consideration. So look at your local zoning regulations as rule number 1 when you're considering the building. Like, where is this at and what's around me? That's something that's really important. Another rule and another tip that I talk about so much in our Childcare Startup University course is definitely going to be, guys, it is so much easier to find a building that was already zoned as a childcare program. It saves us so much time, money, effort, and energy, okay? You really want to try to find, especially if your budget is tight, and let me tell you something, all of our budgets are tight as we in 2024, okay? But you really want to make sure that you are considering, because that is something that's so important. Like, if you can find a building that was already a childcare program and you just have to work with the things that's in there and switch out and branding and colors and all of that great stuff, but you could skip over a step of the zoning, trust me, you will thank me later. So that's always the tip, is to try to find a building that was already a daycare center. Maybe your owner is ready to retire. Maybe that location closed down since COVID and they're done. Like, you want to try to find something that was already zoned as a childcare business, especially if your ducats are low, because it's going to speed it up just a little bit. It's not going to help you all the way, but it will definitely speed up some of the hiccups that you can run into when it comes to zoning. Because zoning is simply the fact that they've zoned this space, this commercial space, legal and operable to have a child care center according to those codes in that city or state that you're located in. Next thing we're going to look at is going to be safety and accessibility, okay? So prioritize safety and accessibility of the building. You want to look for things such as ramps, right? Is this place wheelchair accessible? Like, is it big enough for me to bring those type of things in? So ramps for strollers, Does it have secure windows or doors, right? Is there natural sunlighting? Because like that's important. When you're looking at and choosing a childcare program. Does it have ample space for you to be able to move around, right? Is there exits, right? Is there some kind of alleyway for if you have to get an emergency and people have to get out the building? Because you may look up, and if you're in the inner city like where we are, try to get out that alleyway. Please try, okay? So you really, really want to make sure you're looking at safety and accessibility for your future clients that you're definitely going to be servicing in your childcare program. Hey guys, and welcome to the Educated Minds channel. I am so glad that you are watching this video. If you are thinking about starting a childcare program, you may be wondering, should I do it? Can I get a little bit of guidance? Make sure that you check out our number one childcare course that there is, and it is our Childcare Startup University self-paced course, guys. In this course, I'm giving y'all the blueprint from A to Z on how to start your childcare program. You don't know, and it's not your job to know, but what is your job is to educate your mind on step A through Z. So therefore, you don't make many mistakes that many of us have in the startup process. You don't waste your money on some of the things that you can be saving on a little bit. And more importantly, you understand what it takes to start a quality-based childcare and profitable-based childcare program. So if you are looking for a self-paced course that is super, super affordable and can get all of your questions answered when it comes for business plans, shopping for buildings, leasing buildings, classroom setup, and everything else in between when it comes to passing those inspections on starting your childcare business, make sure you check out the Educated Minds Childcare Startup University course. Next thing we're going to look at is going to be safety and accessibility, okay? So prioritize safety and accessibility of the building. You want to look for things such as ramps, right? Is this place wheelchair accessible? Like, is it big enough for me to bring those type of things in? So ramps for strollers. Does it have secure windows or doors, right? Is there natural sunlighting? Because like that's important, when you're looking at and choosing a childcare program. Does it have ample space for you to be able to move around, right? Is there exits, right? Is there some kind of alleyway for if you have to get an emergency and people have to get out the building? Because you may look up, and if you're in the inner city like where we are, try to get out that alleyway. Please try, okay? So you really, really want to make sure you're looking at safety and accessibility for your future clients that you're definitely going to be servicing in your childcare program. All right, another thing you want to consider as you are building shopping for your childcare program in 2024 is going to be proper indoor and outdoor space. I'm gonna say it again, proper indoor and outdoor space, because truth be told, sometimes there are buildings that don't have outdoor space. And if a building doesn't have outdoor space, I'm pretty sure you're going to have some designated area. Like so many people think like, oh, well, the classroom can just be the outdoor space, No, you need to have a designated space that's not counted in your capacity for where the children will have play space if you do not have a backyard. Another reason why you want to consider a proper indoor and outdoor space, because what does the outdoor look like? Is it grass? Is it cement? Does it already have a 6-foot fencing in? So these are things you want to consider, like where is there an outdoor space and is there proper indoor space, okay? Is there enough room for play areas in this childcare building that you're doing a walkthrough? Are there learning areas, right? Are there enough bathrooms? Because according to how many children you have will be how many toilets is required, right? So these are all things that you definitely want to take into consideration when you're looking at the indoor space and the outdoor space, because square footage is so, so important. And I always tell people, go to your basic state regulation. We call it the Bible, but it's basically where all the regulations is at. And it's going to tell you, this is how much square footage you need per child, per age group in this setting. Straight like that. Okay, so that's a quick tip, easy gem I'm dropping for you guys right there, because at the end of the day, I've seen it all too well. People make this simple mistake that they're thinking like, oh, I'm going to get 60 kids in this building. And what happens? They walk into the building, they sign for it, totally forgetting about the outdoor space. And that 50 or 60 kids you thought is now 30. That's going to run into the money. That's going to run into the budget. That's going to run into everything that you thought you had planned in your mind. So make sure you have proper indoor and outdoor play space. The next thing you want to consider as you're building shopping, guys, is going to be the functionality and the layout of the building. That is super, super important. So if you get a building, like I have many clients, you may get a building that's completely open concept, right? You might got to put some half walls in there. You might got to create a vestibule area. You might have to separate age groups. Like, so you want to make sure that the building and the functionality of the layout is fine. Where's the bathroom? Where's the kitchen? Okay. Where's the backyard? Like, consider all these things in the layout, because the way that the building lays out and how it aligns with your childcare program. So is it aligning with what you're aiming for? Okay. I have some people that say, hey, I only want to have a special needs childcare program. And so is it accessible? Right? Is it wheelchair bound accessible? Is it functionable? Like, you want to make sure it could be cute and it could be nice, but is it functionable for your layout and what it is that you're looking for? So you want to make sure that supervision of the children is easily viewed and accessible, okay? As you're choosing this building. Is there different places to have separate classrooms, or are you going to have everybody in one open concept space? Are you going to have full walls, or are you going to have half the walls that create classrooms and now it's just like segments of teachers? Are you looking to have a more quiet center, or are you going to have a center that's loud and open concept where I'm in the toddler classroom, but I can see the preschool teacher and say, hey girl, all the way across the hall? So you really, really want to consider and look out for what is it and what the building layout, is it functionable for what I'm trying to do for the vision for my childcare program? And the last but not least, guys, my favorite one, y'all know I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, and it's gonna be budget considerations. Like, I don't care how much you love a building, make sure you can afford it. Okay, I don't care how much you love a building, I don't care how much, oh my goodness, but if that rent is well over what you know you can afford, do not do that to yourself. Okay, don't do it to yourself. That just means that it may not be the building for you. Let me tell you something, it's been some gorgeous, beautiful, nice, big, large, super great facilities that my mom and I have walked away from because we're like, oh no, like that, if I miss one rent, I owe this much. So let's say that your budget for your rent, you're like, okay, my budget for my rent is going to be $3,500. Like, that's my budget. And I'm just throwing numbers out there. Don't kill me in the comments, okay? My budget for my rent is going to be $3,500. I think I can kind of afford that. That's what the going rate is for this amount of square footage. Because remember, rent kind of goes with square footage, how large the building is. And you walk into this building and you see this building and it's great. And they're like, okay, we want $5,500. Miss one rent payment, you now owe $10,000 in 1 month. That's it. Simple. Just look at it in that capacity, okay? So according to your budget constraints, okay, look for buildings that fit within your limits, because you need that wiggle room financially when you're starting any business, but you definitely need that wiggle room when you're starting a childcare program, because you're not just starting the business and then boom, you're open. No, you're starting the business and you got to go through these different licensing agencies and meet these requirements and so forth and so on. And so that requires time. Time is equivalent to money. Money's in budgets still need to be paid. The landlords still want their rent regardless of whether you open your daycare or not. But I will say, as you're building shopping, remember, try to negotiate some months for free, okay? Try to negotiate that with the landlord. Try to negotiate some things. Consider what is the landlord's responsibility and what is your responsibility as the tenant. These are things that are super, super important, and you want to make sure that you do your due diligence in that, because sometimes landlords will try to get over on us. Why? Because we look thirsty. We look building happy. We're ready. The first thing they say, oh, yes, yep, boop, sign. No, don't do it to yourself. I'm telling you, take your time, okay? So that is definitely something you want to consider, is your budget considerations, because you want to make sure that you're not positioning yourself for failure. Yes, we're going to take losses. Yes, we're going to live and learn. But let me tell you something. If somebody telling you that this is $5,500 and you know that 35 was your top, then I might need to walk away from this, or see, can I negotiate and meet somewhere more happy, in the happy medium, as they love to call it. But we've had to walk away from buildings. We've had to walk away from projects. I've had to walk away from offers because it's not in my budget. Like, my budget is my budget, and that's okay. I think like we begin to feel like that it's not okay because, oh, I should be spending more, I should be needing more. No, you want to find that gem and find a perfect building that's perfect for you, that meets your needs, that meets your rental budget, and according to what it is that you can afford. Stay in your lane when it comes to budgeting, okay? That's something you will definitely thank me for on this channel later. And last but not least, guys, my last final tip as I wrap up this video and what you should be looking for when it comes to building shopping, guys, just remember, take your time when you're looking for a property, okay? Take your time when you're looking for a property in your property search. Visit multiple locations. Again, visit multiple locations. Do not be thirsty and do not be building happy. Do a thorough inspection. If you got to go back more than one time, bring a contractor with you so that they can look at, okay, yeah, look at this electrical panel. We're going to need a whole new panel. These are things to look at. Look at for leaks, okay? This is why it's so important to bring somebody with you. Yes, you might go look at the building the first time on your own, but if it's even the thought of a consideration, bring a general contractor with you. Bring somebody else that can look for things, because obviously 4 eyes, 6 eyes, whatever is better than 2, okay? People are going to see things that you can't see. Okay, consider the needs of the children that you're going to be servicing and the staff that's going to be in that building before you make a decision. And last but not least, guys, consult an expert. Consult somebody, ask questions. Don't feel like it's just all on you and it's on your pressure. Let me tell you something. In our CEO Circle, which is our Facebook, it's our monthly membership program where we help childcare providers start businesses, and we help providers that are already established get organized. It's our monthly like community where we are there. You could catch me live there every single week. But in that community, that's where you ask those questions. We've had providers show pictures like, what y'all think of this? Like, what y'all think of this building right here for this price, and this is what's included, and this is what's not included. You need that feedback. How are you going to know? Because you're only looking at what you think is good and acceptable. Okay, so, consult with the professional, consult with the expert, get that valuable insight on your specific needs. And that's why you definitely want to check out our Childcare Startup University course. You guys can always book a direct one-on-one call with me, or simply join our CEO Circle community where we meet live every single week and have live monthly master classes, guys, okay? So I hope you love this video. Make sure that you leave me some comments down below and let me know, like, what are you guys seeing as you are building shopping and looking for your childcare program. Until next time.